big air landing, which is a new course for this year. Last year they ran up the super pipe. This year we're running the big air course. It's going to be a lot steeper, a lot faster, and I can't wait to ride it.
I'll try to go find it right now.
Ready for this? So, yeah. I'm excited. Yeah. You missed left side. Take it? No. Trying it off.
As the sun begins to set here in the Rocky Mountains, the fans are packing in here at Buttermilk Mountain for the fourth and final day of X Games Aspen 2019 and the return of Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb. The second time we've ever contested this event here at the X Games. Welcome everyone, my name is Jimmy Coleman. I'm in here in the booth alongside Chris Moran. We've got Diana Dahlgren out in the field, and all eyes coming into this event are looking at last year's gold medalist, Travis Whitlock.
Yeah, Travis is just a wily veteran, 49 years old. He's been a staple in the dirt hill climb circuit for many years. You know, Travis relied on that hill climb experience from the dirt with his line choice and bike setup to take X Games gold in last year's event. Here you see going up the half pipe, we got a lot bigger of a course this year for the boys.
Yeah, going up the pipe, flat bottom last year, he got a little loose there, riding up the sidewalls there, grabbing some of that ice for some traction. But here in 2019, they're riding up the knuckle of the big air landing. But this gentleman right here is your #1 time for seating. This is Logan Mead.
Logan's bike is literally a work of art. I was looking at it during seating, and he was blistering fast. I think it's going to come down to a battle royale with Logan and Travis.
Now, in the motorsports world, you've got lots of hill climbs, but the Harley-Davidson snow hill climb, this is a one-of-a-kind contest. The discipline made its debut at X Games Aspen here just last year, and nothing like this has been held in the prior 12 months as it makes a return here in 2019. Competition format, this is how we're doing it out here today. 16 athletes. This is head-to-head. It's one and done. You make it out of your race, you're moving on into the next round, you get eliminated, you're done for the day, and you're watching the rest of the competition unfold. We've talked about Travis Whitlock. We've talked about Logan Mead. Any other standouts you've got here in this opening round of 16?
Well, those two guys were just incredibly fast. And, you know, another one I look for is Cardwell, Tyler. Tyler looked really good. And it's, you know, what's so awesome about this is we have a ton of family in this. We've got brothers. We've got a father, son. We actually have two sets of brothers. Three sets of brothers
yeah, competing out here, and a father-son combo as well. And these guys, it's not like they just go out and do this for a job all year long. These guys are blue-collar workers. They all hold down full-time jobs. These guys are motorsports enthusiasts, and they do this. They come out here, they tinker on these things. They make these custom bikes to come out here and compete in hill climb events, which are mostly held on dirt. And as I said before, the snow hill climb, a one-of-a-kind event here. But we started off with Logan Mead, your best time of the day in seating, who's going up against your 16th ranked time of the day. This is Lloyd Toby Mueller, our oldest competitor out here at 54 years old.
And talking with Travis, that was one thing that was really important to him, was the seeding, because when you qualify first, you're up against the 16th seed. And you can see here, wow, and
the start ski and of course the traction, but look at how
fast that bike of Logan Meads is.
Now, it is a completely different animal when it comes to the course out here. As we said earlier, they ran up the base of the pipe last year. So here on the knuckle of the big air landing, this is a heck of a lot steeper out here. 40 degrees steeper than what we contested this on last year.
That was almost a full second faster than his seeding run.
Lloyd was actually out here last year working as a mechanic for his son Josh, and decided this year, hey, you know what, I'm going to get out here and I'm going to compete as well. So there's your father-son combo out here today. Lloyd Mueller and his son Josh will be competing a little bit later on.
So one thing that these bikes do really well is go uphill. One thing they don't do very well is go downhill.
Well, the name of the event is Hill Climb, not Hill Descent.
That's right.
But Logan Mead off to a great start right there.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, that's no shocker right there, considering he was your #1 seeding time. This is how it works. One goes up against 16, two up against 15, three against 14, so on and so forth. That's the luxury of being one of those better seeded times out here today. Travis Whitlock, we talked about him earlier, your defending gold medalist, coming into this with a little bit of adversity here. He had a bike that he was loaned to get ready for this event, and then at the last second, he got that one taken away from him. He had to actually go out and buy a bike and didn't get a lot of practice time coming into this event.
And the crazy thing about that story, the loaned bike was the one he won last year. So he's coming in thinking everything is all good. I'm going to come back to X and win again. That bike gets taken out from under him. So for the next month, he spent building this brand new bike.
Well, that's Travis on the left. On the right, you've got Logan Lackey. He's an X Games rookie. His nickname is the Wheelie Pig. He's a Harley-Davidson stunt rider as well as a union carpenter. As we get set, and Logan couldn't get things going off the start, and Travis Whitlock is going to make this one an easy run here in round #1 to earn himself a spot in the quarterfinals. Love to see what happened. We'll get a replay of that start right there as Logan making his way to the top. Logan, your 15th ranked time on the day, so that's a tough start right there for the Wheelie Pig.
It almost looked like Logan wasn't in gear there.
That's what I was going to say. Like,
you see him give it gas and drop the clutch, just wasn't in gear.
You can see the frustration right there as he rears his head back right there, and that's tough. I mean, you're out here, these guys didn't get a ton of practice because, again, this thing was shaped for big air practice and the big air competitions, which we had our last one, which was last night. So they get out here today, it's practice, it's seeding, and it's frustrating to go out like that in the opening round just off of a mental slip up there.
One thing you're going to see here is there's a really big spread in bike setup. We have dirt bikes with big Harley-Davidson V-twin motors in them. We have like what Travis has, like an on-road bike with extended swing arm frame. They have different types of tires. We have paddle tires and we have spike tires. Lots of different setups here.
Yeah, you can see right there, there's a paddle tire like you were talking about right there as we get set to take a look at our next matchup here. This is Tyler Cardwell, another X Games rookie, 22 years old. Younger brother of Austin Cardwell, who, by the way, took a bronze medal in this event last year. So the Cardwell family looking to add some more X Games hardware to the family trophy case. Kurt Mueller, 38 years old. X Games rookie as well, owns Mueller Motorsports, which is a performance shop. So you've got your number 3 best time for seating, Tyler Cardwell, going up against Kurt Mueller here, 14th best time. This is heat number 3 out of round 1 here in the Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb here on our 4th and final day here at X Games Aspen 2019. It's pretty simple. You get to the top of the hill the fastest, you're moving on to the quarterfinals. Otherwise, you're watching the rest of the competition unfold. And here we go, getting ready to drop the green light on heat number 3.
This is a tight race. Tyler was really fast in practice. It's all about absorbing that jump right there, getting the gas, or getting the tire back down to the ground to accelerate.
Well, you saw Kurt had a little bit of traction problems right there, making it up about, I'd say about a third of the way up the hill right there. So Tyler Cardwell is going to move on into that next round. So he's got the first part of the equation out of the way to add a X Games medal to the family trophy case. As we take another look, Tyler out to an early lead, and you see right here on the right, Kurt just has a little bit of traction issue. The back end just got a little loose there.
It'll be interesting to see. I think you're going to see certain lanes be faster because of the ruts.
That was my next question. I was going to ask you about deterioration here, changes in the course due to some of the lines that previous riders have taken. So obviously by being one of the higher seeded times, you get to go earlier on in the competition. As we saw with our number 1 seed there with Logan Mead starting the party. And it looks like from what we've seen so far, that left side lane seems to be the favorite one there. Got Jake Anstead here. Finished 7th in this event last year, raced Supercross up until 2010. He's actually won numerous North American hill climb championships. On the right side, viewers left, but riders right side of things, another X Games rookie, Sean Henderson. And going back to that whole blue-collar theme that I was talking about, these guys all holding up full-time jobs. When he's not out here doing hill climbs, he works as a purchasing assistant. So we'll see if the trend continues here, Chris. And that left side line seems to be, if that left side line, I should say, will be the measure. Look at the spikes on the tires there of Josh Henderson. It's like something out of a Mad Max movie. And again, Jake Anstead just running away with this one. And throwing some Supercross skis, some style there coming up with that landing right there.
It really seems like this left lane, these guys are able to just rocket out of that whole shot.
Well, that's a great shot. Looking at the back of the bike right there, you can see the difference in the swing arm right there, which extends to the back end of the bike right there. So tough break for John Henderson. So Jake Anstead going to move on as we take another look.
You can see Jake lined up on the furthest right there, had a clean line out of the start.
Jake Anstead advancing to the quarterfinals. So 4 races down, 4 left to go here in round 1. Everybody's trying to earn their bid into the quarterfinals as the fans are packing in. Lots of action on tap for our final night. We've still got men's snowboard superpipe final going on tonight. We've got snowbike best trick happening later on tonight, but that's all after we crown our gold medalist here at the Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb. So, heat number 5, you've got Louis Lauders here. 4th in 2018. He just missed the podium last year. Runs the Grand National Hooligan Championships. Of course, Harley-Davidson Hooligan Racing also featured in the Summer X Games edition. Started back in Austin, and then the last 2 years out in Minneapolis for X Games Minneapolis out there at the U.S. Bank Stadium. He's going up against Austin Tyler, 22 years old, an X Games rookie. He goes by the nickname Superfly. 3-time consecutive Great American Hill Climb champ. So, as we go through the story here in this opening round, so far everyone that has advanced, Chris, has come out of that left lane.
Well, and as a higher seed, you get your lane choice, so this is really important in these first rounds.
Looking at that aerial shot right there, looking down at the corral, you see the ruts that are starting to form right there in the start gate. So, see our starter pointing to both the riders, getting ready to drop the green light, and there we go. And the left lane, wow. Well, a little loose traction there, oh, it goes off. But he keeps it upright.
Thus the nickname Superfly.
I thought he was going to get a little squirrely right there and maybe come off of that bike. Holy smokes, the left lane does it again.
I never would have thought scrubbing would have been something in the vocabulary with how big and gnarly these bikes are.
You didn't think you'd be using that term, calling it a hill climb event?
No, I did not. That was awesome. Look at that, scrubbing that jump, and just it starts to float away a little bit on him.
Maybe he was feeling a little sassy right there, like, you know what, I'm going to throw a Superman. It almost looked like he was trying to do tricks right there.
I like this guy's style.
Superfly manages to hang on right there.
And still just on the gas.
Maybe he wasn't sure how far back Louis Lauders was behind him right there. He decided, you know what, I don't care if my feet are off the bike. I'm gonna whiskey throttle this thing all the way up to the top of the hill. All right, so 5 races down, 3 races to go here in this opening round of elimination. Again, everyone's trying to earn the right to squeak into the quarterfinals here. So we're 5 for 5 on that left lane, ladies and gentlemen. Logan Sapala, 2018 silver medalist. Obviously, we have some Sapala fans in the house right there. So you see it right there with the sign cheering Logan on here. Younger brother Luke is also competing. Logan's also a mechanical engineer. Austin Cardwell, your bronze medalist. We saw his brother early on. He's on his way to the quarterfinal. Can Austin do the same here?
Awesome to have the Sapala brothers here.
So while we're waiting for these guys to line up, let's check in right now with Diana down there in the field. Diana?
Hey guys, yeah, so just talking over with Travis Whitlock and Logan Mead why they're choosing the left lane. Well, Travis Whitlock says, listen guys, it's all about the ruts. I chose the lane with the least amount of ruts, but then I go over to Logan Mead and he says, I really felt confident about beating the guy, so I actually took the lane that I didn't prefer. He prefers the right side. So as of right now, we don't have a solid opinion on why these guys are choosing the left lane over the right.
Well, there may not be a solid opinion on that, but the proof is in the pudding thus far because everybody in our 5 races on that left side have all moved on into the quarterfinal.
Well, this is going to be an interesting matchup. We have our gold and, or I'm sorry, our silver and bronze medalist from last year. Well, let's see if that right lane can get things going here.
A little 2018 podium on podium crime going on here in heat number 6. Who's going to get out to the early leader? Oh, we got a battle going on here. This one's going to be close. Coming over the knuckle there. And is the left lane going to pull it off again? Oh, loose. Oh, and who gets across first?
That is, wow, that was close.
Did Logan Sapala get across first? Wow, I have to take another look at that. I mean, that was squirrely right there. They were neck and neck right there till the very end.
What a finish.
Now, we've seen the last couple of races, guys have gotten a little loose there at the top. Again, is that part of those deteriorating conditions with the ruts and whatnot?
Well, it looks like, I mean, the right lane had a better start, but...
Oh, he got a bad landing coming off of that scrub right there.
Right in one of those big ruts.
Taking a look at it here from the onboard cam.
You can see just gets super squirrely, right?
When he landed, the front tire was kind of pointed to the right lane. He almost went into the other lane right there. So that was so Austin Cardwell. He's going to advance, so he's going to go into the quarterfinals. So the Cardwell family doing good here in the opening round thus far. That was a super close race. Tough break there for Logan Sapala as we get into our second to last race here in the opening round. Josh Mueller, age 27. This is his second X Games. He missed the podium by 2 spots last year, had to settle for 5th. We saw his dad Lloyd running earlier in the competition. He actually had to start off the race going up against Logan Mead. Engine is custom built by Louie and Dan Lauders. And speaking of the devil, there's Dan Lauders right there that he's gonna have to go up against 8th in 2018. Older brother Louie is also racing. He is a Harley-Davidson mechanic by trade.
Look how beautiful that bike is.
See if that left side line is going to be the one to pay off. Dan catching up to him right here, but no. Josh going to get this one at the top of the hill.
Boy, these ruts, it's getting squirrely out there.
Look at that back tire right there. Going back to what you were talking about earlier with the difference in the tires with the paddles and the spikes and the screws right there. I mean, that thing is a monster.
Really looks like soaking up that first hit, getting the tire back down to the snow, getting on the gas. Jeez.
He's having a little, he's trying to do some tricks right there too, throwing some one-footers into the mix, coming up the, I guess they're all looking at like, hey, Big Air, these guys were throwing tricks over this thing last night. Maybe we should throw a few going up this thing here in the Harley-Davidson snow hill climb. Well, left side line's been the name of the game out here. We'll see if that continues going into the, see if that continues going into the quarterfinals. Another Sabala in the mix out here. This is Luke, X Games rookie. As we mentioned before, his older brother Logan is a 2018 silver medalist in this event. He's a freshman at the University of Wisconsin studying nurse anesthetic. And then you've got Joe Falday, another X Games rookie. He is a tile setter by trade, going into that whole blue-collar theme that I talked about at the top of the show. So will the left line hold up again here, Chris? Our final heat here in round number 1.
And that left lane is just, those guys are able to just rock it out of the start.
See it right there on the onboard cam to the outside there. Oh, hanging on right there. And you start getting into that loose stuff. I mean, these guys are throttling it out. And you saw on the onboard cam look right there. They started to go a little, he started to drift a little bit to rider's right there, where you can see the ruts from the onboard cam just trying to get out of some of that.
So what we have, it's the course setup down in the bottom. We saw during practice they were actually icing it down so the guys can hook up and get out. At the top of the course, it's all of that soft sugar snow that's really getting rutted up by those big, gnarly tires.
So Luke Sabala advancing to the quarterfinals as well. So we are through the opening round of competition here. So 8 races in the books thus far. Once we get into the quarterfinals here, we're down to 4 races. So basically what happens in this round, this is for the right to go into the medal matches. Right now, let's take a look at our Harley-Davidson project free pieces with Scotty James and Axel Hodges.
I'm UCLA neuroscientist Dr. Don Vaughn, and I research human performance. We're outfitting X Games gold medalist Scotty James with an EEG cap to measure his brain activity while he rides. Performance isn't just about being good at an activity, it's also about being able to tune out distraction. Screaming fans, wind noise, glare from the sun, and even your own internal performance anxiety. Interestingly, Scotty's brain response while snowboarding was similar to riding his Harley. Enhanced sensory focus and a reduction in his body's stress response, namely cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that the body produces in response to stress.
I actually get full tunnel vision during my competition runs, and I go pretty much completely deaf, completely in the moment and focused on what I'm doing. And when I get to the bottom and hopefully have landed my run, the music starts blasting in my ears.
Turns out that these effects aren't just for world-class athletes. We performed similar tests on 50 people riding their own motorcycle and found very similar responses, a heightened sensory experience and a reduction in their body's processing of stress. Scotty's ability to focus ranked higher than over 92% of all the people we scanned. This might explain why when it's competition time, Scotty's able to tune out the crowd, calm his nerves, and focus on landing some of the toughest tricks in the sport.
Get more X Games at h-d.com/X Games.
How are the world's top athletes able to perform under such intense pressure? Is there something unique about their brains? I'm neuroscientist Dr. Don Vaughn, and to find out, we're scanning the brain of X Games gold medalist Axel Hodges. We're putting an EEG cap on Axel to measure his electrical brain activity while he rides. Motorcyclists anecdotally report that they don't ride just for excitement, but also for stress release. The results suggest that Axel was able to have laser focus on his sport while tuning out distracting information from his environment. The brain activity in Axel's data looks similar to a much larger study we conducted here at UCLA. We scanned over 50 experienced motorcycle riders while they rode their Harley, and saw that they had a heightened sensory attention and a reduction in their body's cortisol stress response. A lot of performance is actually about filtering out distraction. You wouldn't be able to sit and focus in a coffee shop if you couldn't ignore all the conversations that were happening around you. That effect is what we saw in this large study, that while riding a motorcycle, you're able to tune out irrelevant information because you have to do that to stay focused on what's important.
I think that if you're a rider, you have a different kind of attention when you're on the road than when you're in your car. You don't dream about things. You don't have that weird experience you get when you drive for 100 miles and you don't remember having taken any exits. On the bike, you're always paying attention, and you're always paying attention to things that are highly relevant. A million things that require a really heightened state of awareness.
We see similar increases in adrenaline in lots of action sports, from snowboarding to snow biking. That increase in adrenaline might be what propels Axel from the peak to the podium.
Get more X Games at h-d.com/X Games.
Super cool piece on how the athletes manage the stress. And I'm going to ask you, being a former X Games gold medalist, how did you manage the stress at the first ever snowmobile freestyle contest when you took gold?
Well, it is amazing. The stress literally leaves when you start your sled.
Well, we are starting the quarterfinal round here at the Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb. Here are your four matchups. Logan Mead going up against Luke Sabala, Travis Whitlock, your defending gold medalist, and Josh Miller. Brother-on-brother action in heat number 3, Tyler and Austin. The Cardwell battle, Jake Anstead and Austin Tyler. These guys are all duking it out, trying to move into the medal matches. Before we get quarterfinal action underway, let's check in one more time with Diana down on the course.
Thanks, guys, so much. Well, as you can see, the left lane behind me has much more smoother, straighter lines up the first face than the right lane. The lines are starting to squiggle a lot more, a lot softer. Look forward to these racers picking the left lane choice a lot better, and if they're picking the right, they're going to try to ride the sides a lot more. Christian, back to you.
Thank you very much. You can actually see it over Diana's head right there. You can see the squiggling lines that she was referring to. Things were getting a little loose over there on that right-hand side. So as you mentioned before, Chris, when you come into this, if you're one of the higher seated times, you actually get lane selection right there. And so far, that left-hand side has been the better of the two as we get into our quarterfinal matchups here.
So what really is interesting to me is Logan. Again, we had about 90% of the guys win in the left lane. Logan picks the right lane, and so well, we'll just have to see if this pans out for him. This is a surprise move on my part.
So finished 6th in 2018, as we mentioned before. He was your #1 time in seeding earlier today. Luke Sabala, X Games rookie, as you mentioned before. His older brother Logan got the silver in this event last year. He was your 8th best time in seeding out here earlier this afternoon. Again, here in the quarterfinal round, it's one and done, just like we did in the opening round. You win your race, you move on into the medal matchups.
Looks like Logan is having a little problem. Oh, there we go. He was having a little problem getting it started, but it just fired.
So the fans packing in out here tonight. It is an action-packed evening to take us out of the 4th and final day here. X Games Aspen 2018, and look at the sky right here. Look at the sunset here. It is absolutely gorgeous out here. It's been a beautiful weekend here in Aspen. Glad to be back out here for yet another year on X Games. And here we go. Who's moving on into the medal matches?
Logan's bike is an absolute rocket.
Look at where he took that line all the way on the inside left. He completely avoided all of those ruts, all those squiggly lines that Diana was mentioning earlier right there, as he bobs his way all the way to the top of that hill here in Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb to move on into the medal matches.
Wow, he is blistering fast. Just a great start. And
he starts rider's left, but then as he gets over the knuckle right here, watch him drift. Towards the latter half of this run, he starts to get it all the way over here to the far right, and you can see it's a lot less rutted out over there on that right-hand side. These are some awesome shots here with the onboard cam, and again, look at that beautiful Aspen sunset right there. You couldn't ask for a better backdrop of what's going on out here tonight for our last day here, X Games Aspen 2019. So, Logan Mead, your #1 time seeding, going on to the medal matches.
Looks like Logan proved us wrong on the right hand, left.
I'm with you. I'm completely shocked that he went for that right hand line. Maybe he just decided to. Maybe he heard the call and was like, "I'm gonna completely throw your trend off here." So maybe it's not that. Maybe that track thing. Maybe it's all mental.
Well,
he's just showing you, hey, I can do this on either side of this track out here.
And maybe it's what along the lines of what Travis said. He was just looking for a line that had the least amount of ruts.
Well, speaking of the devil, you mentioned Travis. Here he is taking the jacket off. Your 2018 gold medalist who's going to choose that left-hand line. 49 years old, hometown Springville, Utah. Actually, one of two grandfathers we've got competing out here. Him and Lloyd Mueller, 2 athletes in the field. Lloyd has 3 grandchildren, and Travis has 1 granddaughter and another one on the way. He's going up against Josh Mueller, which is Lloyd's son. Engine custom built by Louis and Dan Lauders. So Travis, your gold medalist on the left. Josh on the right-hand side here.
Really cool. Travis's family, both his 12-year-old son and his wife, are all hill climbers in the summer.
That's like we said at the top of the show. I mean, this sport is a family affair. Here we go. Heat number 2 in the quarterfinals. And Josh gets a little loose out of the start. Travis going to run away with this one here in the quarterfinal round. Could we be paving the way to have a matchup between our #1 and #2 seeded times earlier today? We'll have to wait and see. Those guys won't run against one another in the medal matches since they're the 2 best times.
That seeding has really set them up for lane choice. And as you can see, I mean, Travis lining up full left, had no ruts, just a clean, smooth run.
Look at that on the onboard cam right there, all the way to the left-hand side right there for Mr. Whitlock. As he is paving his way towards a potential repeat gold medal performance out here. We will have to wait and see. He's done the first 2 bits. He's got himself through round #1. He's gotten himself through the quarterfinals.
Look at this start line. Look at all of these ruts.
Yeah, that right-hand side, I mean, you can see it's really, really deteriorating here as we get deeper into this. Both races so far, Travis has had the best time out here on the mountain out here tonight. Look at the fans back there. I mean, it is getting deep back there in the athletes there, excuse me, in the corral area. We still have a big night of competition underway. As I mentioned before, we've got Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb, we've got Snowboard Men's Super Pipe Final, and then we've got Monster Energy Snow Bike Best Trick to cap off the evening out here as we get into our next round. Tyler Cardwell going up against his brother, Austin, 22 and 23 years old. It's only a year of separation between the 2.
Talk about bragging rights.
You know, if you're one of their parents, who do you root for? This is tough. Oh. Bozeman, Montana is where they hail from. Tyler, X Games rookie, chemical engineering student. You got Austin, who medaled in this event last year. He got a bronze. Austin is a carpenter by trade. We know there's going to be a Cardwell in the next round. The question is, will it be Tyler or will it be Austin? We'll find out in the next handful of seconds. There's the green light, and here we go.
Wow.
Oh, you know what? Too much airtime when you're up in the air. Oh, we have our first washout right there. I was going to say, when you're up in the air, that's less traction time right there, but I like the style. We have yet to see anybody try to air it out over one of these knuckles.
Brother Austin making sure Tyler's okay.
Trying to get that thing righted here. I want to see another replay of him just airing it out, coming off of that. Oh, lost the seat there as well.
So Tyler in the lane closest to you and in the 294 was a little behind, but caught up. Look, you can see
Austin got a better start. He
catch that line right there and just sent it.
He goes from rider's right, then he goes all the way left, and watch him send it. Take another look at it right here. They're actually super close right there. Right there going into the finish line. Just has to lay that one down. Slides out in the snow right there. So tough break for Tyler right there. However, your defending bronze medalist, Austin, has earned his bid to go on into the next round, the semifinals. So again, the sun setting here in the heart of the Rockies, a gorgeous night, creating the backdrop for our fourth and final day of X Games Aspen 2019. 3 more sets of medals to send out here tonight before we say goodbye from Aspen for the 2019 season. Before we get into our next race, let's check in. Once again, we're going to send it down to Diana Dahlgren, who is out there in the field.
Hey guys, so update on the tires. A lot of these riders are running in between ice picks, nuts, and bolts, a street-like tire or a paddle tire. There is no specific preference as of right now. It's more about the rider's comfortability with the back tire. But they say as the cold weather conditions come, that a street tire may be more beneficial.
Thank you very much, Diana. We're down to our final race here in the quarterfinal round. Jake Anstead, 27 years old, from Port Angeles, Washington. Finished 7th in 2018. Then you got Austin Tyler, another X Games rookie. Superfly.
I've been waiting to see Austin again.
He got a little loose in that opening round. One of Billings, Montana's finest. 3-time consecutive Great American Champ, won the 2017 Lamonti Impossible. He got loose. He's on the right-hand side this go-around here for this next quarterfinal race. This is your 4th and 5th best seating time from earlier today, and we are underway taking a look at the onboard cam here with Austin Tyler on rider's right.
This is tight.
Oh, he got a little too much to the outside right there, and it looks like Jake's going to get the edge. Just barely. That had to be the closest race that we've had here in this quarterfinal round there, if I'm not mistaken. It was Jake Anstead on the left-hand side going uphill. Take another look. It looked like Austin got a better start, it looked like. And let's see what happens with the traction here. So let's once again bring Diana into the conversation. Diana, your thoughts on that start down there?
You know, Chris, what we were talking about earlier, exactly these guys scrubbing this top hip right here, it seems like they're the ones benefiting most on timing.
Yeah, you can see there, Austin had just a little too much air time, and the more time you spend in the air, that's less time with the wheels on the ground and less traction there. And it was close. But Jake just barely, as you can see by that angle right there, Jake just getting slightly, probably by a bike length there, across the finish line quicker.
Yeah, to Diana's point, that's one thing I've been noticing about Travis's runs is he's actually checking up a little bit on that hit to basically roll over it and then get that power down.
So we go into this next round here. There's going to be 2 matchups here in this next round. I said the medal matches here. So what's going to happen here? These next 2 matchups, winners will then go on to face one another in the gold medal matchup. And then the 2 losers of these races will then face each other to determine who's going to walk away with a bronze out here. The second time we've ever contested Harley-Davidson snow hill climb here at X Games Aspen. A beautiful shot right there again with the sunset, snow. We got some fresh snow earlier in the week. You got the music stage there in the background. X-Fest has been pumping all weekend long, and like I said, we're passing out some medals here tonight. We still have men's snowboard super pipe final and then Monster Energy snow bike best trick to take us out. So great weekend overall here. We've had some really exciting competitions, and for me, as we did this last year, I think it's super cool that we've moved this just to the right, if you're looking uphill a little bit, to do this on the knuckle of the big air landing. As I mentioned at the top of the show, it's a 40-degree increase in the pitch, the steepness of what these guys are riding out here, and I think that's made this a lot more challenging and a lot more accustomed to what these guys are used to doing when they do this at regular or traditional hill climb events, I should say, when they're out there doing this in dirt with rocks and all sorts of other terrain to deal with.
Exactly. Talking with the guys in the pits, the steepness of the hill is something that they're definitely more accustomed to, and then, you know, also they have turns and a lot more features on the dirt side of things, but the top end of our course, these guys are getting Western.
It's getting a little loose up there, man. And, you know, like I said, there's hill climb events all season long, but they do this in the dirt. Last year, when we did this here at X Games Aspen, it was one of a kind, and nothing like this has been contested in the snow since then. So it's a completely different animal. And again, another thing to talk about the difference in this and traditional hill climb events, you've got the elevation up here as well as the snow. And we talked about this in snow bike cross as well as snowmobile freestyle. I mean, you've got to do, your mechanics, your crew, they've got to do some work on that to make these motorcycles run properly up here at this elevation.
Yeah, with the 4 strokes, it's not as extreme of a difference between the 2-stroke of losing the power at elevation. But one thing that these guys were messing with a lot today was gearing. Okay. Something that they came to last year, less of a steep of a slope. Coming here, they had to gear down to get more speed heading up the hill.
And you saw there, looking at that angle, that rider's right-hand lane, you can see that thing is visibly more rutted up and deteriorated than what we've seen out of that left-hand side. Although, you know, Logan Mead earlier,
he proved us all wrong.
He's like, you guys keep talking about this left-hand lane. I'm just going to throw those guys a bone in the booth, and I'm going to go up the right-hand side and show you that I can still get into the next round. So look at how many people. They're still crowding it in out here to be a part of this 4th and final night out here.
Well, we still got some fun events to go.
I'm so excited. The new and improved Super Pipe Tower up there with the VIP viewing up there. That has been an awesome time out here all weekend long. You've got men's snowboard Super Pipe final coming up tonight. That is always one of the most anticipated events at any X Games Aspen. Here in Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb, we keep telling this story, and why? Because it's important. Look at the, not just how many of the ruts you have on that rider's right-hand side, but the depth of those things. As we get ready to do this once again, winner of these next 2 races will go on to square off against one another in the gold medal match. The 2 losers of these races will square off in the bronze medal match. You've got Logan Mead going up against Jake Anstead, and then we'll see Travis Whitlock and Austin Cardwell. We are possibly looking at your #1 and 2 times in seeding out here today, facing one another in a gold medal match. We'll have to wait and see before we get into this next round. Once again, let's check in with Diana.
Well, you guys have been talking all night about how Logan Mead's bike is blistering fast. Well, what he did before tonight's races is he geared down the bike. He wanted to do that with the onset of cold weather. He says it's going to make his bike much faster up these lanes. Guys, back to you.
And you just called that.
I tried to do my research.
Well, thank you very much, Chris Moran. There you go. Logan Mead from Concord, California has been extremely dominant out here all day long, from practice to seeding to round 1 to the quarterfinals, and now trying to pave his way to go to the gold medal match. Jake Anstead is going to have something to say about it from Port Angeles, Washington. So Logan going to the left side again. He said, I've one on the left, I've one on the right, I'm going back to the left side.
I think he likes just toying with our emotions and just showing us just how blistering fast his bike is.
He's just driving our researchers nuts with the stats right now. He's like, I'm going to show you that I can do it on either side. Look at where they're lined up. They're both all the way to riders left on their respective lanes here. Again, if you lose a race here, you're not out. You still get a chance to earn a medal out here at X Games Aspen. Losers will go on into the bronze medal match. And here we go. Who's moving on to the gold medal match? Logan going to get out to that early start. And here we go, doing what he's done all day long, Chris.
He had the same line that Travis had. It'll be interesting if they go to the gold medal match.
Did you see him look back over his shoulder right there? Right before he got to the finish line, he did the little right shoulder look back to see where Jake was right there. Don't do that, Logan. We've seen that knock a few guys out of competition in years past.
Jake actually had a good start, but just you can see he crossed all the way over from the left to the right, slowing him down heading up the hill.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty close start to get things going right there. But again, I mean, you watch what he's done in all of these races thus far, and he's just been absolutely methodical out here tonight. So I keep telling that story, and I'm going to say it again. We could be seeing our #1 and #2 seeded qualifiers facing off against one another tonight in that gold medal matchup. So Logan's going on into the gold medal matchup. Jake's going to get one more race out here tonight. He's going to get an attempt to go for a bronze medal out here. Again, your 1, 2, 3 last year. Travis Whitlock was your gold medalist. Logan Sapala, who's been eliminated from the race, he was your silver medalist. And then Austin Cardwell.
So 2 medalists from last year in this round.
He's going to get a chance to repeat a medal potentially and maybe trade up and get one of a shinier color this year. So one more race to go here in this round. If you're down there in the corral, why not take some selfies out there? Everyone's having a good time out here. 4th and final day.
You can see Whitlock and his crew lining his bike up in the exact same line.
Okay, so
that Meade just was.
Travis is going to go for that left-hand side again. Your defending gold medalist. As we mentioned before with that story of adversity, having to, basically after all the training, all the practice that he put in, having to scrap all that and go get a brand new bike and start all over from scratch. On your left-hand side of the screen, rider's right, this is Austin Cardwell, your returning bronze medalist from last year. His younger brother Tyler was in the competition. Austin actually eliminated his younger brother from the competition in the last round. So who goes on? Your bronze medalist from last year or your defending gold medalist? We're about to find out. Is the green light? And they're underway. Oh, some traction issues right out of the gate there with Austin. And Travis just has to cruise through this one.
Boy, Travis is he's just playing this so perfectly. Smooth over, just a great start, smooth over the jump, and just, I mean, he's riding a rocket ship.
Well, you couldn't have scripted this any better, because with our final 2 races, you're going to have your bronze medalist from last year going to get a chance at redemption to try to get another bronze medal out here as we take another look and see what happened with the start.
Cardwell had a good start, and just those ruts initially just...
Well, look at how loose the back end is right there. And then it's like swabs all the way to the right, and then the back end of the bike swabs all the way to the left. Meanwhile, Travis is doing what he's done all night as well. Very similar to what we've seen out of Logan Meade. But going back to what I was saying earlier, you couldn't have scripted this any better. Your bronze medalist from last year is going to get a shot at another bronze medal potentially. And your defending gold medalist, your #2 best time in seeding, is going to square off against your fastest guy all day long in seeding for the gold medal. I mean, if you're looking at this and you're planning to sell out and you're thinking, you know what, this would make for a great show, guess what? You just got it.
So I don't even know who to pick. I mean, I'm looking at the cards here. I'm looking. I mean, how can you pick one?
I mean, there's nothing like this. I mean, we did this last year here, and there's been nothing like this. I mean, as we mentioned before, there's tons of hill climb events, but no one's ever doing this in the snow.
kudos to X Games for having this event, and not only having this event, but really bringing it more to what they're used to, and putting on a great show.
You know, taking input from the athletes in the field, and sitting down and having these meetings and talking about, hey, how can we improve this? How can we make this better? And I mean, the change, from last year to this year, again, running up the base of the pipe, and doing this on the backside of the big air landing, it's a night-day difference. So this is how we look here at Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb. 2 more races to go. You've got your number 1 and your number 2 times from seeding, Logan Mead and Travis Whitlock, that'll square off for gold. And then your bronze medal match, Jake Anstead going up against last year's bronze medalist Austin Cardwell to cap it off here from Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb.
X Games! Hi, Mom! Hi, Dad!
We got a couple guys put in, but you know what? We got nothing happening around all year. I feel really confident.
Say hi, Bonnie!
Life's done really well, so it's just going to stop everybody behind. And how is the course up top? Obviously, you can see it from down here, but guys are getting up the buckets and coming over that boulder and just pulling that pass in a bit. Is it just a matter of trying to hope you got the right rep and keep that traction going? Yeah, I mean, after that top breaker, you guys can see here at the bottom and kind of taper down, and then you got another breaker, and then the transition right there didn't really run it out, and touches, but that's going to be our connection, so we really want to hold on to that stuff around us. Well, we wish you the best of luck, guys. Gold medal match coming after they can try to swim up. Who is going to take this? Yes, that's right. Yes. 2 breakers in this course, and the guy who's getting over those the smoothest has got to be Logan Mead. But Travis Whitlock, he just seems to keep that car on the ground. Yeah, he really gets two completely contrasting styles watching these 2 guys. One is definitely Harley style, the other more moto style, and equally as fast. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be a coin toss to see who walks away with the top step up today. I suppose that is the beauty of Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb. Riders from different racing backgrounds find the great equalizer here on snow up the big air landing in Aspen, Colorado. Are you loving it or what? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so as soon as we conclude this Hill Climb final, it's going to be all about mountain men's snowboard suits. There we go, a nice view up that 22-foot tall super pipe there. Men's snowboard super pipe final coming up after Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb final. But first up, let's send it back to the X Squad.
As the sun sets here in the Rocky Mountains and the lights fire up, it creates an epic backdrop here for our 4th and final day of X Games Aspen 2019. And we are here at Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb. Well, everybody, Jimmy Colvin here in the booth alongside Chris Morant. We've got Diana Dahlgren out there in the field, and it is a packed house here at Buttermilk Mountain for our final night of action here from X Games Aspen 2019. We are down to our final 2 races here in Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb, and the big story is your number 1 and fastest seeded time from earlier today. Logan Mead moves on to the gold medal match, Chris.
Man, Logan has just been on fire. He's been very smart with his lane choice, and just super smooth.
However, it's your defending gold medalist who from seeding was your second best time of the day. He's been methodical out here as well, and he too has made his way into that gold medal matchup.
I really think Travis is riding something that could get to the moon. That thing is an absolute rocket ship, and these two are going to be battling it out for the gold.
It is going to be an epic finish here to the Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb. This is how the format works here in this second year contested event here at X Games Aspen. We started off with 16 athletes. We've narrowed it down to these final 4. As we talked about, Logan and Travis are going to square off for that gold medal, but then you've also got Jake Anstead and Austin Cardwell who are going to square off in the bronze medal matchup. But before we get these final 2 races underway, let's take a look right now at our Harley-Davidson gear check.
Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Diana Dahlgren and we are here in Aspen, Colorado. I'm standing next to Logan Lackey. Logan, you will be competing in the Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb on your daily rider. What are the modifications you had to make?
We put studs in the rear paddle tire, a longer swing arm, a custom exhaust. We studded the front knobby tire.
You had an opportunity to test. How did that experience go?
Being from California, I don't get to ride my Harley in the snow very much. It definitely was helpful. We made some gearing changes, testing out different sprockets, stuff like that.
What's the game plan for when you compete in the Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb?
Smoke everybody.
Smoke everybody, you hear that? We'll keep a lookout for him. The Wheelie Pig, you guys won't want to miss it. Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb.
So Diana down there in the field talking to one of our athletes, the Wheelie Pig, who was eliminated from competition earlier in the night, and talking about some of the things we've been mentioning all night long, talking about the differences in gearing down and the different tire styles out here with the screws and the spikes, the paddle wheels and whatnot. What's it going to take here to get a gold medal tonight, Chris Barant?
Well, one thing I was asking Travis, I was like, so what are the rules? It's unlimited. and with unlimited, it really gives the guys the creativeness to be able to try different tire combos, try different gearing setups. We have a very different bike setup in a lot of guys are running dirt bike style frames with big motors, and then on-road bikes with big motors and tires.
All right, so here we go with our bronze medal matchup here at Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb. Second year this event has ever been contested at X Games Aspen. You've got your number 4 and your number 11 times from seeding. That Jake Anstead going up against Austin Cardwell. Austin Cardwell on your right-hand side, your bronze medalist from last year's event. Who is going to walk out of here with a bronze medal? Is it going to be a repeat for Austin, or will Jake Anstead add his name to that list? And we are underway.
Cardwell's got a good start in that left lane. That right lane is it's just so beat up.
Oh, Jake gets thrown off of the bike right there. So Austin Cardwell across the finish line there. He is going to repeat that bronze medal performance. As you can see, Jake Anstead getting up to his own feet right there. Good to see him standing up right now and walking away under his own power. We'll have to take another look at a replay right here and see what happened there.
So that was Cardwell that went down.
Oh, it was Cardwell that went down. My apologies there. That was Jake, or Austin Cardwell on the right-hand side that went down. Jake Anstead was on your left-hand side. Jake gonna get a bronze medal here. He went rider's right, and then he ended up all the way to rider's left.
And Cardwell just got into this soft snow coming in, what we call a tank slap. Bars just going violently left to right.
So Jake Anstead with the bronze medal. He finished 7th in this event last year. He's won numerous North American hill climb championships, raced Supercross up until 2010. So Jake Anstead, your bronze medalist here in 2019. Coming up next is Sports Center with Steve Levy and John Anderson. They'll have conversations with both of the Super Bowl quarterbacks. Plus the Hawks' Trae Young talks about his transition to the NBA, and inside James Harden's incredible scoring streak. Sports Center next, right here on ESPN and the ESPN app. So taking a live look down the mountain here at the Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb. We're down to one final race left to go. to determine who's walking out of here with the gold medal. Congratulations to Jake Anstead taking home a bronze medal here tonight. Your #1 time in seeding, and this guy's been methodical out here all night tonight. It's Logan Mead out of Concord, California. Now, Logan had to settle for 6th last year in this event, and he was actually riding on a borrowed bike. He's got his own machine in the mix out here tonight. However, he's going to have to go up against this gentleman. This is Travis Whitlock, who has also been extremely dominant out here today, and he happens to be your defending Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb gold medalist. Your #1 and your #2 best times from seeding out here earlier this afternoon, set to do battle. Chris, you couldn't ask for a better scripted matchup to cap it off tonight.
Well, you can see how much time they're spending on the start. It's so important is setting that tire, making sure the bike is straight so they can get a straight run up this gnarly hill.
So the left-hand side has been the dominant lane all night long. We are underway. This is the fight for gold. Who's going to get it, Mead or Whitlock?
Mead got an incredible start.
That's Travis' view on the onboard cam right there, and it looks like Logan Mead. Oh, Travis gets into the loose stuff and thrown into the left side lane right there. And Logan Mead, your #1 seed, it was just extremely dominant all day long. Good to see Travis up and okay. He got thrown off of that bike pretty hard right there. But how about that? The guy finishes 6th place last year. He's on a borrowed bike. He comes in with his own ride here in 2019. Comes in with the #1 seeded time. Dominant in all elimination rounds. And again, let's not overlook Travis Whitlock here, your defending gold medalist. He too had some bike changes here early on coming into this event.
It came down to the start again, and Logan just had a rocket ship out from the ice start into the soft snow going up the hill. And here you can see Travis, he caught way more air than he's been doing all night, just trying to play catch up.
And that, you see right there, the back end starts to swab out right here, and he gets into the loose stuff there, and it just airs it out a little too much, and the feet come off, and he gets ejected right here.
Just giving it, though.
I mean, that was a snow slap right there. It was good to see him spring up out of that one. But, I mean, what a performance by both of these guys all night long. I mean, to see these guys in round 1, the quarterfinals, and the semis, and I mean, literally, I mean, they smoked everybody out here tonight, you know, in each one of their qualifying races.
They were definitely the cream of the crop and gave us an awesome gold medal run.
Well, Travis Whitlock's going to be 2 for 2 in medals in the history of Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb here at X Games Aspen. He got a gold in 2018 in the inaugural event. He's going to have to settle for silver here in 2019. But the night belongs to this gentleman right here, Logan Mead. He's a medical repair technician by trade. He's a gold medalist tonight. Let's send it down to Diana Dahlgren, who's with our winner.
Congratulations, Logan Mead, earning his first ever X Games gold medal. Logan, just tell us how 220 rear tire ice picks hooked up to bring you gold here tonight.
Oh man, me and my dad have been working so hard on this rear tire. You know, we got smoked last year. It's kind of embarrassing, but to be up on top of the podium where I know I belong to be, it just feels great.
Congratulations again, Logan Mead, your X Games gold medalist here in the Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb.
So what a story for that gentleman right there, from 6th place on a borrowed ride last year to walk away with the gold medal. So that is a wrap here from Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb. Some epic battles out here all night. Your defending gold medalist has to settle for silver this year, but the night belongs to your #1 seed, Logan Mead, your Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb gold medalist.
And it was a big experiment, Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb. We're all going, what in the world is this all about? Is that even going to work? And then the riders come out here and they prove that this is not only an event that's successful year 1, they bring it back for year 2. And I want to hear your opinion on this. I personally think it's even better. Well, you know, it's kind of cool. So we've seen some innovation the last couple of years. So last year we had adapted to like kind of this demo. Let's see how it goes. Obviously it went well. We crushed it this year. Same exact thing with Harley. So I kind of have an idea what these guys went through last year. Is it going to be good enough? Are they going to have us back? It was unreal this year. It was cool last year, but this year those guys absolutely blew it out of the park. is, yeah,